Well, as Carol Burnett used to sing, I'm so glad we had this time together. This is our final session of the Legacy Pastor and Champion Orientation Series, and I sure do hope that you have found this to be a good use of your time. So in this final session, I'd like to provide you with a model, blueprints, if you will, of what a grandparenting ministry might look like in a local church. And then I'll share just a few of the wide array of resources, or tools, if you will, that are available to local churches as they build a ministry to grandparents for the sake of their grandkids. Let's never lose sight of that goal, friends, the eternal destiny of the souls of our precious grandchildren. So first, let's talk about a blueprint. Let's consider what a ministry to grandparents could look like. As I mentioned in our previous session, the frequency of your gatherings will be determined simply by the needs and the suggestions of your interested grandparents. We know of some ministries that gather every week, primarily to watch and discuss the Grand Monday Night webinar. They may watch it live on Monday nights or later in the week as they view the replay. After watching and discussing, they simply pray over their various grandparenting concerns, and there's a very simple weekly model of a grandparenting ministry. Other ministries gather monthly, either in a home or in a comfortable space at the church building, and those gatherings usually combine one or more of these four components. First, and obviously, prayer requests, prayer updates, followed by a time of intense prayer for one another and for our grandchildren. Prayer is an absolutely urgent and vital priority for intentional Christian grandparents. We cannot do this in our own power. Second component, there should be a segment of motivation and or equipping, and there are several options for this component. For example, if you live in a more urban area, you could invite some guest speakers to come and share some appropriate insights, either in person or by way of a Zoom meeting. And by the way, many of the Legacy team members are very willing to share with your group via Zoom. Now, if that's beyond your capability, other possibilities. For example, if you did not use the Grandparenting Matters seminar to build momentum for the launch of your ministry, you could purchase the DVD from Legacy and let those 6 seminar sessions comprise the training element of your first 6 ministry gatherings. What a strong foundation on which to build your ministry. Another option would be a book study. Just browse through the store on the Legacy website, and you're going to be amazed at the wide variety of books being written to encourage and equip grandparents. Your members could choose a book, one that grabs their attention, meets their needs, purchase copies for every attendee, and then simply discuss 1 or 2 chapters at each gathering. Now, a majority of the ministries that we're aware of are using online video for the motivational and training component. Later in this session, I'll let you know about some powerful video resources that are available through Legacy Coalition and our partners. Now, a third component of the gatherings can be sharing resources. As grandparents in your ministry become aware of some new resources that can have a spiritual impact on their grandkids, this regular ministry gathering is a wonderful venue for sharing those resources. It might be a movie that one of the grandparents saw that they want to tell you about. You need to watch this with your grandkids. It might be an age-appropriate book they've discovered, or an age-appropriate Bible, websites, upcoming events, YouTube offerings. Well, the possibilities are endless. But your fellow grandparents will deeply appreciate learning of those resources. And then a fourth possible component is planning activities. If time allows, during your gathering, you could plan some special extracurricular activities. Now, obviously, many of those activities will be some events that involve both grandparents and grandkids. Hosting a concert or some other program, fishing expeditions, sewing or cooking exhibitions, a weekend camping trip, a trip to a local conference or camp that offers a grandparent week, outings to local attractions. You get the idea. Other planning can take place here. You might plan for some opportunities to enhance the effectiveness of the people that are a part of your ministry. Maybe you could plan a road trip to the next Legacy Coalition Grandparenting Summit, or to some other more local event or seminar that will expand the grandparenting toolkit. Maybe there'll be some discussions about developing an Adopt a Grandkid program in your church. That enables folks in your ministry to have a spiritual impact in the lives of children in your church who don't live near their grandparents, or their grandparents aren't followers of Christ. And that program is also a blessing to the grandparents in your ministry who don't live near their grandkids. You know, Legacy occasionally offers an annual online first-time grandmother shower party. Well, maybe your ministry could plan such an event and make it an in-person party of shower for first-time grandmothers. Additionally, there may be times when your group will strategize about some ways to help the grandparents in your church and community who are raising their grandkids. That's a growing issue, as you may know. And your group could be used by the Lord to bring encouragement, relief, and support to those wonderful folks. Well, whatever format you choose for your gatherings, you may want to include a brief time just of fellowship as you gather, maybe some light refreshments, and the call to order could be accomplished by singing along with a song from one of the Legacy Coalition music CDs. For example, our grandparenting ministry often gathers by singing along with Steve and Annie Chapman the song, I Want to Finish Well. So choose any of these components that meet the needs of your unique group of grandparents and that fit within the time constraints of your gathering. And of course, you have the freedom to ask the Holy Spirit to help your group invent an entirely new model for your particular grandparenting ministry. Now, any other additional elements, maybe an online or hard copy intentional grandparenting newsletter for your folks or a lending library, we'll leave all those to your discretion. Now let's make a shift and let me make you aware of the growing number of resources available to empower your grandparenting ministry. The Intentional Christian Grandparenting Toolbox is being filled to overflowing. Now, of course, these grandparenting resources are going to expand and shift following the recording of this video, so take that into consideration. Now, I strongly suggest that if you haven't yet, spend some time on the Legacy website in the resources and the store sections, because you need to be acquainted, very well acquainted, with the amazing and growing array of tools that have become available over the past several years. There is simply not enough time in this presentation to acquaint you with that impressive array of resources. And while you're on the website, check out our many ministry partners. They are also offering an ever-expanding treasury of creative resources. So all of this will enable you to respond appropriately to the various needs of the families represented within your grandparenting ministry. Now, a primary component, a primary resource for that motivational and equipping segment of your meetings are the replays of the Grand Monday Nights webinar. Now, here's the link where you can go and find dozens of powerful 30 to 35-minute presentations on a wide variety of topics. Obviously, every Monday night, the number of presentations available grows by one, and all those replays are free. Just go to Legacy on your smart TV or connect your laptop to a TV, and your training segment is ready to go for your gathering. Now, additionally, Legacy produces a series of video studies entitled Equipping Intentional Grandparents. Each volume includes around 6 Grand Monday night presentations grouping around one particular area of interest. and discussion questions are included in that packet. Okay, there's just a taste of the tools available. Now, obviously, not all the grandparents in your particular church or your region are going to be attending your ministry gatherings. So you may want to talk to your church and see if they can provide you with a database of all the grandparents who attend the church. And then you can occasionally send out links to legacy podcasts or blogs that could constantly be sent to potential ministry participants, along with all kinds of announcements about upcoming grandparenting ministry events. And hopefully that regular explosion of information to non-attendees will arouse their appetite for more input, the kind of input that is provided by your local grandparenting ministry. Well, one final note, be sure to use whatever resources are available to inform surrounding congregations of your new grandparenting ministry. And let them know that participation in your ministry is open to any Christian grandparents in that region. Well, we certainly do hope that you have found these orientation videos to be helpful. And of course, if you've got any further questions or need more guidance, any of the coalition personnel will be glad to come alongside of your efforts as champions and pastors. Just reach out to us. Now, this ministry is sustained by the faithfulness of its many volunteers, and that's you. May God bless your passion to help Christian grandparents leave a legacy of faith in the lives of their grandkids. Thank you so much for your willingness to serve along with Legacy Coalition.